What's going on, guys? 360 Digital Closing Bell here. We are live on YouTube from an undisclosed location here in Denver, Colorado. I am Michael Tanner, joined as always by the executive producer of the show, the purveyor of the show, and the director and publisher of the world's greatest website, oilandgas360.com, Stuart Turley. Stu, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Michael. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Gorgeous June 10th here in Denver, Colorado. Turned out to be a really great day. Markets wild all over the place. Really, when we look at our board, it's sort of a spit spatter of green and red. But before we do that, please just subscribe to the 360 Digital Closing Bell, iTunes, Spotify, and Intercom's YouTube channel. The best way to stay updated on all of your energy finance news. As I mentioned, big, red for the S&P. Tech stocks were up big. Oil pretty much finished flat, but energy equities got hammered today, and we will dive into it. Before we do that, SPY 3190, pretty much flat, about a half percentage point drop. Tech stocks, though, doing very well. NASDAQ closing 10,111, or about 140 point gain on the day, which is about a 1.5% increase on that index. Dow Jones just closing below 27,000, 26,990, or about a 280 point drop on the day. Defense stocks really dragging that index down. As I mentioned, crude oil pretty much finishing flat, 23 cents up on the day, about 0.5% of the index. 39.16 is what that futures contract currently trading at. Crude oil back into the curve though, 40.66, so pretty much exactly flat for 12-month strip. Natural gas gains today, actually our biggest commodities gainer, up at about 1.3 percentage points, up to $1.79. That's about a 2-cent gain for that index. Back into the curve for natural gas, $2.83, so up about a percentage point for the 12-month strip. XOP, this is really where we see the poundings begin. XOP, like I mentioned, which is our EMP securities contract, 61.75. That's a $4.80 drop. We're about 7.3% on that index. OIH, which is Oilfield Services, doesn't fare much better, down 7.75% to 147.87. And really, when we look at those big numbers, only 5 stocks were on the green, the rest were on the X. Chesapeake finishing down 29 percentage points to 16.18. No surprise there. Extraction down to 30%, down to 72 cents. And Whiting Petroleum, $1.57, or down 33 percentage points. So all you can kind of see those companies up big the past 2 days, sort of coming back in line to what maybe some of this more relative investor sentiment feels like. On the upside, though, not much to talk about. Only 3 percentage points for Permarac Royalty Trust. They're up the largest on the day, up to $3.78. Prime Energy Resources Corporation finishes up 2% at 92.80, and Permianville Royalty Trust, another ETF, finishes $1.50, up 1.86. So pretty flat day. Luckily, one of the movers on the day, oh no, they not right at the finish. Bonanza Creek finished down. They're a staple in the 360 non-official fund. They were one of the 5 stocks that were up, but since finished down about 0.24%. Please, guys, you should go check out the oilandgasconference.com. It is the best investor conference, and all the information on how to register and sign up for it is there. As remember, the Oil and Gas Conference is sponsored every year by Intercom. It is the best place to see investor presentations and come and really learn more about the industry from the financial side. This year, they're going to a complete digital conference, which means there's going to be anyone, anywhere can view it, but there'll also be some select in-person meetings. So I encourage you, go to the oilandgasconference.com for all information on how to sign up and register. Stu, how's the international news desk looking today?
Hey, Michael, there is a lot of business out here, but just from a technical side, Equinor is testing 2 LNG powered shuttle tankers. It's on the news desk. And the reason it's really important is LNG is very ecologically friendly. And Equinor is putting out, they have a fleet of 150 ships, and they're adding another 14 new builds in 2020 in the North Sea and Brazil for hauling as transport, but they're LNG powered, and they have the technology to take trash and turn it into powering the ship. Nice. Anyway, it's on there. Also releasing another one from Rare Petro. Kevin put out another outstanding opinion piece, and with a lot of data on everything going on. The title of the article is Differential Price Recovery, How Regional Forces Are Bringing Benchmark Prices Back Towards Equilibrium. Outstanding article from Rare Petro. It's going out in about an hour.
Yeah, no, I think the biggest thing that I took from that article is the difference between, obviously what the spot price are trading, but regional pricing. I think that's as he mentioned, regional forces, but what he gets into is really the different blends, how they're all traded, and how the spot market for all those different blends works. It was excellent. Please check that out, rarepetro.com. You can check it also, all of these stories out on the 360 news desk, which you can find on the world's greatest website, oilandgas360.com. For me, I've only got two things that cross my news desk. First, obviously, crude inventories happened. 5.7 million barrel build overall for the entire country, which was a decent number considering what's going on. Cushing, though, down 2.3 million barrels to 49.5 million barrels, That's almost just within the 5-week rolling averages on the top end. So that's really, really good to see. Total domestic production down another 100,000 barrels to 11.1 million barrels. So, we continue to cut production, and we wonder when that number will continue to turn around. But remember, that number may not turn around even if new wells are being turned online, because remember, new drilling is what adds all of the production, not necessarily some of these low stripper wells. 40%, as we talked about in one of those previous episodes, about 40% of all crude oil production right now was generated in the past 15 months. So that gives you an idea about how new drilling really, really affects that production number. So going forward, we're watching that domestic production to probably continue to drop, but not from shut-ins, probably from some of the associated declines that have been turned off. The only other thing I saw is there's about 10 million barrels of Saudi oil that's due for the U.S. markets here in June. That's down from 36.7 million barrels from May, and down about 50 million barrels since last year. So you can see we're really cutting back on a lot of the oil we're importing, which is very good. PAD 3, which is specifically the Louisiana Perch, they're taking bulk of that, which is about 7.6 million barrels. On the trading side, Chesapeake halted a couple different times today due to just insane volatility. So, there are some gains out there to be made if you're looking to get in, but so far, sort of a slow news day. Obviously it's been a wild roller coaster the past 3-4 days. So it was sort of nice to have kind of everybody get back to a little of a normal news day. We missing anything, Stu, before we let these guys get out of here?
No, Michael, just a lot of big stories and interviews just released. Buddy Clark from Haynes and Boone, one of the
Yes.
partners, just went out just a little while ago. Outstanding.
Great interview on the Energy 360 Network. Please follow that podcast, iTunes, Spotify, and Entercom's YouTube page. Also follow the 360 News Desk. This is where we're going to have all the relevant information for this podcast and the week ahead. So we encourage you to check that out on the world's greatest website, oilandgas360.com. But with that, we're going to go and let you guys get back to work. Thank you for checking out the 360 Digital Closing Bell here on Oil and Gas 360. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the Digital Ticker.